Representative calls for destruction of the one most racist icon throughout U.S. Every once in a great while a politician will say something really brilliant that resounds with the American people. The Democrats always try to make them retract it right away, but thanks to those quick to screenshot, the internet usually saves the day and keeps a copy. That was the case with Oklahoma Representative John Bennett, who made some pretty controversial statements following the Charlottesville riots. This politician followed the liberal logic out to its reasonable conclusion, but people are losing their minds about it. Bennett is a retired U.S. Marine and the current owner of a small business that operates out of his hometown. This picture of a middle American politician has gotten into trouble before for his hardline stance on the issues that affect the normal American citizens. At an event with constituents in Sizemore, Oklahoma, on September 15, 2014, Bennett referred to Islam as a cancer in our nation that needs to be cut out and claimed that there is no difference between moderate and radical Islam. Bennett affirmed his stance, stating that he had read the Quran and 90% of it is violence. And only 10% of it is conciliatory. This was obviously not met with perfect appreciation, but this didn't keep the American patriot from speaking his mind on what Islam is doing to our nation. His most recent faux pas happened after the Antifa and their supporters started lobbying to take down the monuments to Confederate soldiers. Bennett didn't argue that point. He just made the observation that by that logic mosques should be removed following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. You can just imagine how much liberals liked that. NBC's KFAR. Oklahoma City, a Facebook post by an Oklahoma lawmaker is receiving a lot of attention after the post suggested removing mosques from America. The post by Representative John Bennett suggests that if Confederate monuments are being removed because of the Civil War, mosques should also be removed due to 9/11. If we're removing Confederate monuments after the Civil War, I think we should also be removing mosques after 9/11, his Facebook post said. It is not an idol. It's a place where serve the poor, take care of the hungry and cure the sick. Making this association is extremely irrational, said Ahmad Anshisi with the Islamic Society of Greater Oklahoma City. This is a place where American Muslims, Oklahoma Muslims, proudly serve fellow Oklahomans. The post has since been taken down. We reached out to Rep. Bennett's office for comment. However, we haven't heard back. So, we went to the Capitol and asked his assistant if we could speak to him. She called Rep. Bennett to see if he would comment. In a phone conversation with Bennett, she said, I know. They don't want to hear the truth. The truth can be a very inconvenient thing, especially when you've got an agenda to support. These logical reactions and statistics don't support the liberal agenda's theory that Muslims are actually a peace-loving people who are just misunderstood. The difference between the Civil War monuments and the mosques is that the Civil War is over and done with and the mosques are built for worshippers who will likely repeat history and strike again. Sadly, the number of Islamic houses of worship has been exploding over the past decade or so, and many are worried that the religion has already gone too far to be kept back if they decide to lash out all at once. Here's what Wikipedia documents about the explosive growth of mosques in the United States. Some sources assert that what is likely the first American mosque building was a mosque in Bedford, Maine that was founded in 1915 by Albanian Muslims. A Muslim cemetery still existed there in 1996. However, the first purpose-built mosque building was probably a mosque opened in 1921 in Detroit, Michigan. It was close to the famous Highland Park Ford plant which began mass assembly line production of Ford Model T cars in 1913, and where hundreds of Arab American men came to work. This mosque included Sunni, Shia, and Ahmadi Muslims, and was funded by Muhammad Karb, a real estate developer. It has been estimated that there were somewhat more than 100 mosques in the U.S. in 1970, but immigration of more than 1 million Muslims since then led to hundreds more being built. In 1994, the Islamic Center of Yuba City, in California, was destroyed by fire set in a hate crime, and is one of 2 mosques destroyed by a hate crime in U.S. history, the second being in Joplin, Missouri in 2012. It had just been completed at cost of $1.8 million plus sweat equity of the Muslims of its rural community, including descendants of Pakistani who immigrated to the area circa 1902. Its story, including its rebuilding, is told in David Washburn's 2012 documentary film An American Mosque. In 2002 a book on the American Mosque appeared. The overall number of mosques in the United States quietly rose from 1,209 in 2000 to 2,106 in 2010, an increase of 74%. The Ground Zero Mosque, a planned mosque in Lower Manhattan, was the subject of controversy from 2010 on. In September 2011, a temporary 4,000 square foot, 370 square meters, Islamic Center opened and renovated space at the site, and current plans are for a museum to be built, instead of a mosque. A 2011 study, The American Mosque 2011, sponsored by the Hartford Institute for Religion Research, Hartford Seminary, the Association of Statisticians of American Religious Bodies, as well as the nation's largest Islamic civic and religious groups, including the Islamic Society of North America and the Council on American Islamic Relations, found that the U.S. states with the most mosques were New York, 257, California, 246, and Texas, 166. Through 2014, a building boom for mosques has been going on. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.